with the experts themselves. And interestingly, I'm excited because I have three gentlemen here from different industries and with their first-hand information and experience with CT.
Hopefully.
Connected TV is expected to show an annual growth of 8.84% CAGR 25-29, resulting in a projected volume growth of, and I'm not kidding, it is $55.14 billion US dollars by 2029. Now, when I'm saying the stats in front of you, I'm a little nervous. And this stats touched the roof during Ramadan, because Ramadan is a time of tremendous increase in media consumption, which provides a unique opportunity for brands to connect and bond with audience at their leisure through connected TV. And interestingly, connected TV does not allow only one person, generally, but you generally have a lot of people coming together and watching it together, probably 2 or 3. So it's an interesting one touch point touching actually many people. So that brings us to today's session, and the topic for today's session is exploring the role of connected TV in shaping Ramadan viewing experiences in Indonesia. We'll start with the very first question, and we'll start with you, Christian. The first question is open to all of you.
Yeah.
The question is, do you think connected TV is reshaping traditional Ramadan viewing habits in Indonesia?
All right, thank you for the question. Before I answer the question, probably I will say hi to Shanti. I love how she humble bragged herself when she gave the speech, like, oh, I'm not well, and she came to the stage and we all fabulous. So I hope you get well soon. So to answer your question, I would say yes and no. Why do I say that? It's because of, first we acknowledge that there are a lot of users of connected TV nowadays. So it means that the way they consume the content, the entertainment content for themselves is changing and now is getting more personalized. However, we also acknowledge that in terms of viewing time, so most of the consumption probably during Ramadan, the biggest consumption for the entertainment content will be during the Ngabuburit, or the fast-breaking period before, the period before fast-breaking, and also during the Sahur. So I would say that in that period of time, when we talk about connected TV, it will be there will be a higher demand. And to answer the question, I mentioned yes and no. No, I think in terms of the viewing time, I wouldn't say that the habit will change at all, because the habit will be mainly focusing during the Ngabuburit time, or the time waiting for fast breaking, and also the Sahur, and also from the your research also see that the peak time for the connected TV users on weekdays is from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m., which is aligned with the Ngabuburit time and also with the Sahur time. And so yeah, the habit wouldn't change in terms of time. However, when we talk about the consumption in terms of the content that they view, probably and the way they consume the content, the habit will change drastically. Because now everything is being very personalized, right? So in Ramadan, as you may have aware, probably a lot of the audience in Indonesia being served in a free-to-air TV is being served with a very similar content. And nowadays people want to see and want to consume the content and the entertainment that's suitable for them. So obviously, for that, the viewing habit will change drastically. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, That was insightful. Over to you, Mahavidi. What do you think on the same question?
I think I'll start from the fact that the point that you made is media consumption goes through the roof, right, during Ramadan. It's a testimonial to the fact that Indonesians love content, right? And that's evident. I can give a small proof, just earn my paycheck by saying last Ramadan, View popped up as the #1 downloaded app across 3 weeks of fasting month. We beat WhatsApp, Insta, TikTok, YouTube, because content demand is there during that fasting month. Now, yes and no again. How much of it was CTV, how much was mobile? We looked at the graphs across the year. So I'd say from last Ramadan to this Ramadan, the graph has been moving up dramatically. it's much higher than the 8% of the hardware sales, because Indonesians who have that hardware are catching up, to watch the content on CTV. So we see, for example, our Indonesian titles, upwards of 12 to 15% of consumption is coming from CTV. And for our Korean titles, interestingly, it's upwards of 20%. So which means there's a large shift happening. Yes, it's more pronounced during Ramadan, but it's consistent across the year that we see that shift happening to CTV. Yeah.
All right. Point noted. In fact, the next questions are something similar in those lines. I'll be happy to talk.
Sure.
Bali, over to you. And please back up with some data if you have. Would love to hear.
Sure. So I agree with the gentleman before me that there are some changes and some will remain the same. But I want to add to Pak Widi's point that connected TV, when we talk about connected TV, we're talking about the easy access to wide range of contents, right? So YouGov being an online research agency, we actually did a festive study back in December last month to 2,000 respondents across Indonesia. And the interesting thing that we find out that the significant difference between type of content that they watch, they prefer to watch during Ramadan and outside Ramadan. So for example, during outside Ramadan, the type of contents that are preferred are the usual action, comedy, drama, or K-drama. But during Ramadan, actually the type of content preferred, the top are religious content, so like sermons or scripture readings. The second one is food, so it's culinary cooking shows. And the third one is more of family themed movies, because as mentioned earlier that CTV is being used by the whole family 70% of the time, right? So I think that the main difference is that because CTV enable people to access this kind of content more easy, so we can expect the more heavier, more frequent access to this type of content more than ever before. So.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. That was insightful. Just for the people who have just walked in through this discussion, we're looking at exploring the shifting viewer behavior during Ramadan and how CTV's advanced targeting, personalized content, and data-driven insights can enhance advertising relevance and impact, fostering deeper consumer connect in alignment with the beautiful festive values. Pa, over to you. This question is specifically for your industry. So, when we did this research, wherein we targeted 500 odd respondents, we understood that 7 out of 10 watch their CTV every day. So that would be your main. So, when you are looking at a campaign, what would be your main area of concentration as a marketeer promoting the Ramadan sentiment while executing a CTV campaign? And that is because we understand that you have to be juggling between product fitment with Ramadan, the emotion, brand recall, purchase intent, and your brand connect.
Yeah, basically, it's very interesting. First thing first is that we as marketers, we need to know and we need to understand what is CTV and what does it stand for, and also what it can do. Because I believe, for myself, in our organization in Pino, that CTV itself could not stand alone in terms of putting it in marketing mix. So having it incorporating CTV advertising in our marketing mix basically requires a very thoughtful process. Why? Because you cannot have a CTV stand alone, because it's basically on digital, everything needs to be very close loop. You need to understand their consumer habits, where they are, how they consume their media. So in that sense, it's very important for us to prepare a very marketing, a very close loop ecosystem, digital ecosystem when we use it as our advertising channel. So in that sense, probably by having the right and one more thing that is quite important for CTV is that you need to have the right content for the right audience. I mean, everything is about personalization, but I think CTV and also the data that being gathered by all the digital platforms is not just about just more than personalization, but how depth the personalization itself. So having the right content and the right creative is also important. And by having so, one thing that is also probably quite interesting about CTV for us in the marketing side is that CTV allows you to give the feedback in terms of the data and also the result immediately, and it's much more actual and factual. And then for us, it's very important because we can act and react based on that. Yeah. So in that sense, the whole advertising that we use, CTV and also probably other platform, and also the use for other digital ads, it's going to be much more effective to gain customer engagement as well as the awareness. And in the end, what we want is also conversion. Yeah.
Beautifully answered, bang on. Pak Ali, over to you. According to our analysis, and again this is coming from our research, we observed 73% of affluent audiences watch CTV every day. Additionally, like we started, that this consumption undoubtedly increased several times through Ramadan. Now, I know I got the answer yes and no, but primarily let's understand, we cannot debate the numbers going high. So how can marketeers and businesses capitalize on this very trend?
Okay. Interesting question. So, what we need to remember is with the increase of consumption, there will also be increased exposure to ads. So, brands will be competing for the limited space of audience attention, right? So, that's why brands need to be effective with their campaign. So, maybe learning from our study back in June, July last year to 500 affluent connected TV and smart TV users. So we actually uncovered like three things that we need to keep in mind. So the first one would be memorable. So your brand need to be unique and also need to be able to emotionally connect to the audience. Why? Because based on our study, we actually see that 3 out of 4 people can only remember below 5 ads during their whole viewing session. Okay, and the second one would be concise. Because again, from the study, about 3/4 of this affluent audience only willing to watch ads that are below 15 seconds in duration. So these two are important because there's a benefit to targeting these connected TV users. Because again, from our study, most of them are more likely to be second screening with the other devices. Like 60% already on their social media, half of the time they're doing general browsing, and even 1/3 of them are already doing online shopping in the other device or CTV is on. Okay, and another interesting thing is if you have the memorable and concise part down, actually if they're interested in your ads, about 73% of them will search for your advertised product on the internet. So it's a big opportunity in there. And again, social media is the most important channel because it's also stated by the majority of this audience that it's the main online source for product research. So again, to recap, these 3 things are really important: the memorable part, concise, and also the second screening opportunity.
Thank you so much, which opens host of opportunities for brands and us. Pak AD, coming to you, the question for you is, have you observed any particular trends in content consumption during Ramadan in Indonesia, and how does CTV enhance these experiences compared to linear format? And I'm asking this in front of some TV people.
Yeah, I think
It's a dangerous question.
I think well, first and foremost, CTV experience for advertisers versus linear format is, first thing I have to tell you, your ads will look damn good, right? Because it's not the shaky antenna or etc. It's digital transmission the way it needs to be for premium quality content. Even our content looks damn good there. Why? Because again, taking a dig at the linear TV. I mean, we spent 10x more in production quality than per hour than what's linear TV does. So even our content looks damn good there. But having said that, I think Pa also mentioned a few very critical points which needs to be looked at. He talked about memorability, right? Now, how you can utilize a platform like View to go beyond linear TV is first starts with story. I mean, how can we tell the story a lot better? And that's our bread and butter. Now, Grab and partners like that, but collaborate with us to create their unique stories for Ramadan. And we've been doing that for 3 consecutive years now with them. So, let us in and collaborate with us to tell your brand story better this Ramadan. I think that's a key message and that I'd like to share on what approach View is taking to the market. Number 2, I think the Zapak ads slides that we talked about is a second screen phenomenon, and you touched upon it. Here's where the creatives can probably change a little and incorporate QR codes, for instance, on CTV ads and make it prominent while you're telling the story that's there for you to get the second screen activated and immediately get certain metrics involved, right? And of course, it's a more data-driven approach, right? For example, Indosat network can actually tell me yesterday how many watched View, what Korean titles, what Indonesian, maybe not tied to the title level, but there's a lot more data that I think partners in the ecosystem have to come together to collaborate, because one single entity doesn't have a complete picture. It's a collaboration, a forum, which needs to prop up CTV and the data-driven approach. And I'm hoping the linear players, because they have digital interests as well, right? The edtechs and the MNCs of the world, and they will collaborate on the CTV front. That would be my outlook. Yeah, back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Respecting the time, I'll quickly come to the round 3. Paviti, will start with you.
Yeah.
The question for you is, connected TV penetration in Indonesia is expected to be between 25% to about 50% by 2029. So how do you see the role of CTV evolving in shaping Ramadan viewing experiences in Indonesia over the next few years?
All right, that's actually a good question. So I think it will be increased significantly. So for us in Kino, I think Madani from Innovate on the previous session mentioned that you need to do a lot of experimentation. So first thing first, as an organization, I encourage everyone here in the, who are leaders in the organization to do a lot of experimentation in a new channel. Why? Because it is something that keeps us updated on how to get in touch with our consumers and how we as an organization evolve in terms of getting our message across to the consumers. So we take pride in Kino. We have also experimentations in every single of our A&P. Not big amount, but a small amount that enough for us to learn whether a certain channel works or not. So last year we take pride also, we did experimentation in CTV and we won an award, Shanti's award for Connected TV. Actually, Shanti, thank you. But yeah, I mean, that's actually because we did that experimentation. So we know on how to act and react towards the new technology. So with the future activity itself, in terms of the advertising, basically it will be, in Indonesia, I think it still be characterized a balance between traditional TV and also the connected TV. And I believe that with the whole technology that we have right now with the AI and also the machine learning, there will be a lot of development that will be happen in the platforms, obviously. Hint. So that probably it will help us as marketers to get the message across and to build that relation to our consumers. Now you mentioned that I read somewhere that there are some development in connected TV that basically in connected advertising you will have what we call the shoppable ads, where you can shop directly towards the ads, and also a pause screen ads, which is quite interesting. When you pause, you want to go somewhere, do something first, and then there's ads that actually related to you, right? And one thing that is also under development is the choice-based ads. So you know what type of ads for the consumers, and which means that the result will be much closely to what the consumer wants and the consumer needs. So it's not just the consumer getting all the different ads. That is not necessary. For them, it's something that they're looking at. For us, as the brand, we're actually going to touch base to the consumers that needs and wants to react with the type of product that they need. Yeah.
Thank you, but we need more marketers like you who actually know the power of CTV media. And yes, an experimentation, absolutely. Pahali, over to you. The question for you is, we've learned the numbers are going high, we've learned how the users are behaving. Very interesting one which all of us touched was about mapping the performance. So the question for you is, what key metrics should brands focus on to measure the effectiveness of CTV campaigns during Ramadan?
Okay, so maybe from research agency perspective, I just want to reiterate that the importance of measuring your brand campaign, because then you will able to know what went right, what went wrong, and most importantly, like what we can do to improve our future campaigns, right? So again, if we're talking about the metrics, there are so many metrics to track. But if we go to the basics, like the marketing funnel, of course, some like new emerging brands, we want to focus on the upper part of the funnel, like awareness, how many people are aware of the brand, does our ads reach the right target audience, do they see the ads, things like that. Other brands will want to go deeper on the middle or lower part of the funnel. Do people perceive our brand better? Or in terms of maybe quality value, other brand imagery attributes, and also the most important one is in the end, do people consider our brand more compared to the other brands? And probably the rest is it will depend on each brand activities. Some will focus on specific performance marketing metrics to measure their ROI, because different brands will have different activities, right? But again, in terms of the metrics, ideally we want to have a measurement before Ramadan as a baseline, during Ramadan, so we can measure the uplift of the campaign, and preferably also after Ramadan, so we can see if the impact is sustainable over time. So I think by having all those metrics being measured, then the brand will be better equipped to improve their future campaigns.
Absolutely agree with you. AD, last question for you. How can connected TV be utilized to create more meaningful and culturally resonant viewing experiences during Ramadan, while also addressing the unique preferences of audiences in Indonesia?
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's, I would say, like Pa said, experiment with it. And I think my parting message to the audience here would be, we at View are very happy to experiment this Ramadan on CTV front. In fact, I'm taking this opportunity to announce this Ramadan, we are opening up our CTV inventory, so you can buy CTV only packages from View. Thank you. The View team is here the whole day, and we are at the exhibition, and the AWARD team. I see Bimo there, I see Bandana here, Ollie, Kesset, they all will be here to have conversations with you in case you would like to jump in and experiment in CTV this Ramadan with View. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Just to close the session, can I have 2 key points from you which you feel are most relevant from this entire discussion? Anything which is worthy.
I go first? Alright. The first thing will be know your consumers, know where they are. Because now we mentioned about multi-screen, right? Second screen. So know your consumers, where they are. So if you have, in the digital landscape, if you have decided to have digital advertising, don't go for just one channel or one platform. Just try to have a close look. To know, to basically get in touch with the consumers. And the second one for me will be experimentation. Yeah, there are a lot of new things in the world, so experiment, learn, act, and react. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, the 2 points that I'd like to mention is, please keep in mind, content is king.
Okay.
What is the right content with which you would like your brand to be carried on for this Ramadan? Please think from your consumer tastes and their behavior perspective. Number 2, CTV is the future, but all ecosystem partners have to come together, including OEMs, including Google for that matter, from their CTV ecosystem or app perspective. So all the partners need to come together and nurture this growth. Yeah.
I think again the key points related to CTV campaign is the three parts I mentioned earlier: being memorable, concise, and also make use of the second screen opportunity. And the second one would be to ensure that you have a measurement in track for your campaigns. It's really important. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ma, for the pearls of wisdom. With that, we close our session. And if you have any questions on all that we discussed, we are right outside from Zappaz. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.